So I'm coming to you from lockdown right now. Today's video is going to be a behind the scenes on the last weekend of touring I was able to do as a singer-songwriter before all the regulations kicked in, all the venues closed down, and we weren't allowed to go on tour anymore. So stay tuned for the final tour diary for a little while.
Road tripping with the girls.
Hi, I'm Dani Young. I'm an Australian singer-songwriter. I write my own music, I record and release original songs, and I go on tour. But overall, I'm just a big music lover. So if you want to see more videos from me, come inside my world. Just subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell to get notified every time I release a new video. This is the second week of my tour through New South Wales this time. The first weekend we went to Queensland. This weekend was in Tamworth and Old Bar. I travelled there with a fellow musician, Angela Easson, who I met at a songwriting retreat a few years ago. And we've been hitting the road for our tour. Little did we know that a global pandemic would break out and the rest of our tour dates would be canned. But luckily we were filming this final hurrah and gonna take you inside right now.
Yo.
From Sydney to Tamworth is about 5 hours drive, and Tamworth is the country music capital of Australia, so we are so pumped to be playing there tonight.
Yes.
The car's all loaded up with gear, you can see behind me.
Yep.
Packed to the brim. So we'll be playing tonight in Tamworth. Then we'll be getting up bright and early to drive about 3.5 hours towards the coast to play in a little town called Old Bar. So lots of driving this weekend. But we've got some awesome fans coming out especially to see us at our shows, so we are really looking forward to it. And on the way up there, we were already hearing of music festivals being cancelled around Australia. In fact, there was one that was meant to be happening in Tamworth that afternoon that had been cancelled, and we were just hearing about it then. So we were hoping maybe on the bright side, all the people that missed out on the show that afternoon would come to our gig instead that night. So we drove up to Tamworth with a cheeky little stop off on the way. We've just done the customary Macca's stop on the way to Tamworth, you know, rock star lifestyle and all that, but back on the road. I think the secret to a good road trip is good music, good company, and a full belly.
Your answer's very creative. Mine's just tea.
Just tea. Tea is all you need. All you need is tea.
No, tea. Definitely tea.
So when we got to Tamworth, the first thing we did was stop off at our accommodation. We were very lucky to have a lovely local lady offer for us to stay in the spare rooms in her house. So we stopped off there, did our hair and makeup, got dressed for the show, and headed over to the Tamworth Services Club for the gig. It was a very windy night. We drove around the block about 3 times, looking for a park close enough that we could bring all our gear inside the club from. Got out of the car, we're carrying these big speakers. The guitars are pretty much blowing out of my hand in the wind, but we made it inside, we got everything inside and started setting up. We decided, reflecting on the Queensland shows from the weekend before, that we'd try something different with the staging. So instead of the two of us sitting down and going song for song the whole night, we decided we would stand up and we'd go one person at a time, and we would alternate 30-minute sets throughout the night. And that was also a really great idea because we had lots of people there that could only stay for a certain amount of time because, you know, they were working the next day, or they had babysitters at home, or they'd brought their kids along. By doing the alternating sets, we were able to make sure everyone was able to see a bit of both of us. So we started, well, a bit before 8 o'clock and went through till 11 p.m. at night. And it was a really awesome gig. It was awesome to have so many people come along. Yeah, it went really well. Jolene, 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 begging of you, please don't take my hand. So we packed up after the gig, headed home. It's probably about midnight at this point. Tried to get a few hours sleep before having to hit the road very early in the morning for our next stop on the tour, Old Bar. So the car was packed and ready to go by 7:30 in the morning. We had a little stop off at Macca's for a little bit of brekkie, and look, I regretted it straight away. Anyway, it was quick, it was over and done with, and we were on the road to our next destination. It was going to be a 3.5-hour drive from Tamworth through these beautiful winding roads, winding around the mountain tops, passing through pastoral land, through farms, through little small, I wouldn't even call them towns, they were so small, maybe outstations. Well, we're driving to Old Bar for the final stop on our New South Wales tour. Next time we're hitting the road together, we'll be in South Australia. But we've driven from Tamworth early this morning to Old Bar, and probably about an hour out, and the countryside around us is just amazing. Everything is green and luscious, there's beautiful rolling hills. It's just amazing.
It's gorgeous.
Because we've had to leave so early and our gig's at lunchtime, we took turns driving so we could do our makeup in the car. I haven't been able to do my eyeliner and mascara because I'm not confident in a moving car to do black on my eyes. But everything else is done. We'll just change our outfits when we get there, pop on a bit of mascara, and we'll be ready to hit the stage. I forgot to fill up with petrol before we left Tamworth. Time to fill up with petrol. I was doing the calculations on how far can we get, and I totally missed the turn off for the one town we could stop off at. And so we had to circle back around. We were 10 minutes past it. We had to circle back around, find the turn off, go down this little windy road into this small town, found the one petrol station with the one pump. It's one of those towns where the petrol station, it's got a gas attendant that comes out and fills your car up for you, which you don't...
city chicks, hey?
Yeah.
Hello.
You don't see that in many places these days. He actually charged us the wrong price, and as we were about to drive away, I was like, God, that was expensive petrol. He runs out after us and goes, oh no, I've messed it up, and here, let me give you the cash to make up what I overcharged you, which was so honest.
So honest. Such a lovely guy.
Country people are so honest. Check this out, the fire just came through Tyree a few months ago, the huge bushfires in Australia. You can see all the trees are really burnt, but there's so much green, new growth coming out of them. You gonna kill it today, Ange?
Absolutely. Rock your socks.
Yeah, we're gonna blow your minds. Well, we get to Old Bar and it starts raining. And this is an outdoor show. Thankfully, the stage is in a cute little beach shack, beach hut type of thing. And we're having to delay the start of the show a little bit because all the crowd would have to be sitting out there in the rain. Well, we made it to Old Bar just in time to get ready and go on stage for the gig. Here we are, here's the Old Bar flow bar behind us. Got a very cool vintage sign, Boogie Woogie on it. Let me show you a bit inside. Angela's on stage right now, so let's have a little look.
Run, baby, run away, don't come back another day. Run, baby, run, run. She's bad news. What's a boy do? She made a hold over you. Ooh, she's bad news.
We've got a 2-hour show in Old Bar. And so we decided for this one, Angela was going to play the first set for 1 hour, and then I would play the second set, which gave us time to really tell more of our stories and run our shows the way we might normally run them if we're doing a solo performance. I think it went really well. The crowd seemed to really enjoy it. Old Bar was a place I'd seen on so many tour guides, tour calendars of so many artists coming through there, and that was the place they stopped off. So this was the tour when I decided I wanted to see what this venue's all about. So it was 12.5 hours of driving across 2 days, most of which I did myself, except for the little bit when I was doing my makeup in the car. Look, that is an exhausting amount to drive, but it was so worth it because stopping off in Tamworth and Old Bar were fantastic places to play. This is the end of the tour diary now, and I always like to do a bit of reflecting on what I could have improved or what I might do a little bit different next time. And number one on the list is making sure I double check how far the distances are between the locations. It was a little bit of a stress situation to, be watching the clock and hoping we get there in time. The second takeaway from this tour would be to make sure when I am packing very heavy speakers that I will be carrying around, that I pack some sort of those, the wheelie trolley things that you put heavy things on and you can just pull them along. I wish I had packed one of those. And the third takeaway from this trip would be to stop stopping off at Macca's every tour because my stomach is not thanking me. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Whether you're an aspiring artist or someone that's already in their music career that just wanted to hear my insights on what being on the road was like, or if you're just someone who loves music at home that's always wondered what it would be like to be an artist going out touring, singing your own songs. Well, I hope this was helpful for you. I'll be making some other sorts of videos for you in the meantime while we're stuck at home. But thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, be kind to each other, and I'll see you next time.
Do my hair, talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feel? Feel like